Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Shaka and Don with us. Shaka, how many games have you watched today?
A lot.
You're breaking records today, aren't you? You and
Yeah.
Don, you woke up to watch Burnley against who? Sheffield United.
Sheffield United, yeah. Then West Ham, Newcastle. That was a good game, actually.
Ah, two of your old boys going head to head. All
Yeah.
your team, every team's like your old boy, really. Can Manchester City win the Champions League without Aguero, Don?
Ooh, I would say no. We're not with Jesus leading the line. I think he's game and he has a good go and he runs around and he closes people down, which Pep likes. But I think at the very elite level, when you think of people like Luis Suarez and Lewandowski, these guys banging the big goals when it matters. And I'm not sure that without Aguero they can do it.
Shaq?
In a word, no, Dan.
Oh.
Listen, the game against Southampton kind of summed it up. Credit to Southampton for how good they were defensively. Credit to Alex McCarthy for how brilliant he was between the sticks. But when you've got that many chances, you've got to tuck one away at some point. And chances are a premium when you're playing against the best in European football. I just don't feel that Jesus has a high enough average to see City through.
Shaka, after Che Adams' goal today, have you ever been scored on from more than 40 yards out? Wait, should we guess
Not
the
that I
answer,
can
Don?
remember.
Should we guess the answer? Yes.
No, never.
39 yards out?
I have never been beaten from that far out.
Really, Shaq?
You know who I think came the closest? Manninger in goal for Arsenal. He hit one, skipped off the service on a wet pitch, and had me scrambling for dear life. Mine just went over the crossbar. I had it covered though. I wasn't that worried.
Is that because you stayed on your line, Shaq?
I don't venture very far off that, no.
Do Manchester City need to look for a new left-back, Don? Who would be the best option for them to sign?
They can look all alike, but they've still got the boy at Leipzig, Angelino, on their books still, if I'm correct. And I think he's had a wonderful season there. So I would bring him back. I would invest time in him because every time I've seen him play, I think he looks a cracking player.
Not in the Premier League. When he played, he looked completely out of his depth.
Did he?
Yes.
I'm not sure about that. I think you've got to give him time. Yeah. He's been away to Leipzig. He's improved technically as a footballer. Maybe his confidence was low, trying to fight for that left-back berth. And I think the competition was strong. But, I mean, you can go and play fantasy football if you like and go and spend 50, 100 million pounds on a left-back. But you've got Zinchenko and you've got Angelino there. I think there's more pressing worries.
Ugh. I wouldn't excite if I'm City.
Don, don't listen to Dan. Once Dan puts on that red jacket of his, who knows? Who knows where he's going?
No, I just don't think his performances at Leipzig would fill me with lots of confidence that he's going to come in and be a world-class.
But I mean, how many do you want? He's got Benjamin Mendy, he's got Zinchenko, he's got Angelino.
None of them are good enough. If I'm Manchester City and I'm looking at how key that position is to me playing, none of them are good enough, are they?
Don, don't argue with a red jacket, Dan.
What? Mendy's proved that he can't do it at the highest level. You agree with that, yeah?
So who would you sign?
I don't know. I just asked the questions.
Well, they can't just go to Bayern and say, look, there's 100 million for Alphonso Davies. We'll have him, please.
Alphonso Davies, Don. They get very angry. Davies.
Oh, Davies, sorry. You can't just play fantasy football.
Of course you can. You're Manchester City.
All right, I'll tell you who I would sign, and I said it today, and I stand by it. This might make you two choke. Leroy Sané's now gone to Bayern. I would sign Dwight McNeil from Burnley to replace him. Boom. Yeah. Look at that.
I didn't know how we got here.
How did we get there?
How we get from talking about a left back to
Don must have some sort of
deflecting there, Shaq. I was deflecting.
Yeah. At least you're right. At least you didn't make us choke.
Don, have you spoken to Lampard about what is going to happen with Kepa? Should they sign a different goalkeeper?
I actually haven't spoken to Frank on Kepa, but I think they 100% should sign another goalkeeper because I don't see Kepa ever making big saves, Shaka. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you ever see him pull out a save where you go, ooh, that's rescued Chelsea a point, or ooh, that's rescued Chelsea 3 points? I know you have to give young kids time and to develop. You look at De Gea when he was in at Man United and he was quite slim and he was quite slight and he developed into a very good goalkeeper. But I just see Kepa in the nets and I just think Chelsea, with him and with a suspect couple of centre-halves, I think they look really fragile and really vulnerable.
But Don, it's not fantasy football. You can't just go out there and spend another 80 million on a goalkeeper, considering you just spent 80 million on a goalkeeper.
Well, you can. You can go and sign Ter Stegen, you can go and sign Oblak, you can go and sign anyone you want.
Just bring them in.
Bring them all in.
Shaq, what's happened to Kepa? Brilliant, obviously, in Spain.
Yeah, listen, the thing for you, and don't touch it. Kepa's a brilliant shot stopper, certainly by the looks of it during his time in La Liga. But Kepa makes good saves, but not great saves, and just too many little errors that I think cost Chelsea, and he doesn't deliver points, as Don pointed with the really big saves that you wonder where he produced that from. Every keeper should be making a couple of those a season. I just don't see it from Kepa.
Shaka, how's your shadow puppet game? Go on.
Shaka, would you take Dean Henderson to Chelsea?
Over Kepa, yes. I still think Henderson has another season or two before he's seen at his absolute best. But right now, I'd take him, no question.
Shaka, you have big hands. So you must be quite good at shadow puppets, because the way your lighting is today, we can see your head over your right shoulder. Can you give us any, like a rabbit or a bird?
Dan, what? You in that red jacket, I kid you not.
Honestly, you set up beautifully just to do like a flying little eagle.
To the weirdest planet.
But
that jacket's gone to his head.
Look, your head's bouncing around everywhere in the background. It'd be lovely if you did like a little bird.
Oh, and then buy a new jacket. Cut that one off.
If you were currently playing, Don, which of the following would you least like to face? Greenwood, Pulisic, or Foden?
Oh, like bang on current form. Greenwood I wouldn't want to play against. Because I think he proved yesterday that he's obviously a left-footed player and he's got a rocket of a left foot, but he proved in the game against Bournemouth that you shift him onto his so-called weaker right foot and he still strikes that one clean into the top corner. So, I mean, three unbelievably talented players, but I think Greenwood looks as though he's going to be a superstar for United. I mean, at a tender age of 18, normally when you look at young players, you think, well, there's a bit of development to go. He can improve here, there and everywhere. But I look at him and I think, man, he is some player.
Shaq?
Well, as a goalkeeper, of course, Greenwood would be my choice, given the position he plays. Second to that, right now in current form, Pulisic, just from a midfielder's point of view, and how good and how effective he has been, just at running from deep in midfield and taking defenders on. He's banging form right now.
Final question: did Conte flop this season with Inter with the amount of money they spent on bringing players in, Don?
Oh, they've flopped massively. I thought they were going to be really title contenders, and I wasn't sure he sent the right message at the start of the season, Antonio Conte, with his signings. No disrespect to people like Ashley Young, who's been a terrific professional, and Victor Moses, Alexis Sanchez, but it was almost sending the message that he was taking a couple of the Premier League cast-offs and trying to take them to Inter Milan to try and challenge Juve. It was never ever going to happen.
Shaq?
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, for the names that Don just called, I don't think they have been that bad for Inter Milan. I just think as a team they haven't played well at all. Alexis Sanchez came in at fault for the second goal today, and Conte just doesn't have this team ticking. And but for Lautaro Martinez, there's no real excitement about how they played, despite Lukaku and his return, about 20 plus goals this season. It's nothing really to get you excited with the way Inter play.
No shadow puppets to finish, Shaq. That's the end of extra time.
I'll give you
go on, do it. Take the foot. Hey, there it is.
Hey.
Oh, yes!
Well.
Oh. It's sad
You're
how happy
welcome.
that has made me.
You're welcome, world.
That's it, guys. Thank you very much. ESPN FC back on your screens tomorrow. Until then, goodbye. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.